from everywhere USA. It's Fox Across America with Jimmy Failla.
Oh, you bet it is. We are fired up. We got a big hour coming up on Fox Across America with your radio buddy, Jimmy Failla. 888-788-9910 if you want to be a part of this show. Byron Donald, superstar congressman from the great state of Florida, scheduled to be a part of the show in this hour. He is currently behind closed doors, or at least he was a minute ago, talking about Hunter Biden.
Hunter's a dirtbag.
But he is now emerging. He is above ground. And we're going to chat with him here in a minute. 888-788-9910 if you want to sing back up to the lead singer in this hour who joins us now. Byron Donald's in the house. Yo, BD.
Jimmy Failla, how are you, my friend?
Better now, man. You're always good for morale to have you on. I understand you were doing the people's business in Washington.
Yes, it's an interesting day today. It's the Hunter Biden deposition is going on as we speak.
Yeah, so how does that work? Do you guys have to wear hazmat suits to talk about that laptop?
Well, actually, the truth is that we're not allowed to discuss anything until the transcript's released.
Fair. Mm-hmm.
So all I'll say is that you don't need a hazmat suit, but yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, because I was wondering if Gucci made a hazmat suit for you and Wesley Hunt. I just wasn't sure. But
no, just for Wesley. That's how he dressed. He wears all that Gucci stuff all the time.
Yo,
I'm simple, Jimmy. I'm a simple dude.
No. I had this talk with Hunt the other day. So he's on a slippery slope because you dress like you're cool, but he's somewhere between cool and like the Las Vegas Strip. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like Liberace Hunt. Like he's going in a very blingy direction, and you know this. You grew up with friends.
Oh, that's 100%.
Yes, bling is a slippery slope because you're 1 second away from Mr. T.
I mean, I never thought about using Liberace, but now I'm gonna have to call him that on the floor when I see him. I think Wesley, man. I think I said to him one time, I was like, man, you've now made a standard that you can never step down from.
He's
you can never step down from this. I think we were at the Iowa State Fair. The man was in a full 3-piece suit with the loafers, with the watch, with the tie, with the cufflinks. I'm like, brother, we are at the state fair. It's okay, man. He was like, this is what I do. He's like, this is me.
Yeah.
I'm consistent. He is.
Guys eating a deep fried Milky Way in a 3-piece suit at the fair. Well, all right, listen, if we're going to talk about defense, I got to get into the border with you for a second.
I think people realize first that this cannot continue. Two, people are now having real questions about what are we going to do with all these people who are here. And three, they all know that Joe Biden's the one that broke it. He's the one that did it. As much as he tries to blame MAGA Republicans or whatever the other slogan they want to throw out there, Joe Biden's the one that did this. His signature on the executive orders that changed all border security policies. You got the migrants showing up at the southern border saying, hey, yeah, Joe Biden let us in. That is exactly what was happening. They were the ones showing up in Biden-Harris T-shirts ready for the next rally. I mean, they only needed 50 of them for a Biden rally. But, so the reality is that he broke it. And now you have a situation where it's now cross-party. It's not about parties anymore. Democrats want a secure border. I think the polling that just came out, it showed that a majority of Americans now want a border wall.
Yep.
Contrast that with 2016, Jimmy. Now a majority of Americans want a border wall. You have black Americans talking about, are we going to deport people and send them back home?
Yeah.
This is what's happened in America.
Well, that's where I think the left is about to learn a harsh lesson. If you just joined us talking to Byron Donald from the 19th Congressional District of Florida, I think the left's going to learn a hard lesson because a lot of the talking heads on TV on rival networks are just sitting around yelling racist. But the racism thing only works with woke white people. I don't actually think people who live in inner cities care about Trump rhetoric at this point. I think they care about the quality of life decline they're witnessing because of the border.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Look, it was a cool little approach that they tried when President Trump was in charge and running the show. But he's not president now.
Yeah,
he's complaining about it like everybody else is. He's upset with what's happened to the country, and now they're still trying to go down this road of, but look what he said. Man, people are like, man, to heck with what he said. What's going on with the Joker in the White House right now? At least Trump had this thing under control. This guy, Joe Biden's an absolute moron. I'm telling you, Jimmy, that is the conversation happening on streets all across America.
Straight up. And no, I agree with you, because the thing I was just talking to yesterday in my old taxi garage. Okay, my taxi garage used to be in Manhattan. It moved out into Queens now. But I was talking to the guy who ran it yesterday, and he's like, man, you got to see it. He's like, it's basically like a MAGA rally, but there's no one from America in the garage. It's all migrants who came here legally, who are so mad because if you came here legally, I mean, think of the size of the middle finger they're giving to people who try to come here legally right now.
100%. And so if you came here legally, you went through the process, and the process is a hard one. Mm-hmm. But guess what, Jimmy? You move into our country, it should be a hard process. It's not supposed to be easy. Jimmy, that's like you having a bedroom in your house that you want to sublease. You just don't open the door and say, hey, whoever comes in first gets it. Yeah. Nah, man, it's an application. You got to have a security deposit. Jimmy, I know you checking people's credit. I know that because you want to make sure you get paid. But this is the facts of life. These Democrats are so crazy when it comes to this. And the people, like you said, who are most pissed off are the people who went through the process. They came through here legally. They paid the money. They did all the work. And then just to watch people just show up on the streets of New York, and then they getting money. Yeah. And they're staying in hotel rooms? Oh, no. And nobody's supportive of this, except, like you said, unless you're a ultra-liberal white college student with a postgraduate degree from the Ivies. Then you think this thing is great. Yep. Because you're staring at the streets from your high-rise apartment. You're not out on the ground having to deal with this stuff day in and day out.
Yeah, straight up. Because I can tell you right now, there's a lot of confusion. A lot of the migrants that are getting relocated to New York, they get off the bus on 46th Street and they think they've already been deported. They're like, what the hell? What just happened?
Oh, my God.
That was a quick ride back to Caracas. Wow.
Why just do that to Midtown Manhattan? Come on, Jimmy. Come on now. I know, but Midtown's looking bad, though, Jimmy. It's looking real bad.
Yo, it's rough. The most popular restaurant chain in Midtown is this hot new place called This Space for Rent. It is sad, man. And that's the Roosevelt Hotel. Like the Roosevelt Hotel, okay, which is like 2 blocks from Fox headquarters. That used to be the mobile command center. Like we'd go over to that bar and just kind of hang out because it's a hotel bar, so it's a pretty relaxed atmosphere. But you can't get in now because it's a migrant hotel. So that was like a hot spot. Like I put up some numbers at that hotel in the 90s, and now I can't even go by. It's not right.
Do you think they could fill the bar if they did like nickel beers?
There's a problem with nickel beers. If you went to one of those colleges, I know you went to FSU. Okay, nickel beer night sounds cheap, but you do pay for it later.
Oh, you pay for it in many ways. It ain't Jimmy, it ain't the $6 you spent on beer. Let me tell you that.
No, ma'am. But this is the takeaway. And listening to you speak about the border and about the city and everything else. Just one other serious thing. I think what the Democrats have lost touch with is everything they're pushing right now screws over the people who did things right. Like when you talk about student loan forgiveness, it's screwing over the people who did the right thing, who either took out loans and paid them off on their own, or didn't take out these loans to begin with, but are now being asked to subsidize the paying off of those loans. I mean, isn't that the ultimate indictment of this administration, is that everything they're pushing screws over the guy doing the right thing?
Man, Jimmy, let me tell you. So I'm one of those people, my wife and I, we paid off our student loans. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm so mad right now. Look, I'm a member of Congress. I don't want this to happen. This should never occur. But man, I'm pissed off. Mm-hmm. You kidding me? This joker comes in here and starts forgiving loans. I just paid them all off, and then you just forgiving the stuff. Yeah. And look, and the commentary I heard, this is very accurate. To be blunt, and look, I'm sorry, if you went to college and you paid $90,000 for a bachelor's degree in humanities and you're wondering why things didn't work out, it's because you got a bad degree and your college or university sold you a bill of goods that was not reality. And I'm sorry about that. But that doesn't mean it's not everybody else's responsibility. I didn't sit in them classrooms. Yeah. I didn't take gender studies, at Brown University or whatever it is. I didn't make those decisions. So now why am I having to pay for it? Yeah. Then you have the citizens who, these guys just work hard. They didn't go to college. They made something of themselves. They started a small business. They're in a union. They're plumbers. They're electricians, whatever. They didn't go to college. They went out and just started making money and and did something for themselves, and now they're paying for their nephew who has a degree that he can't utilize because he's a barista somewhere. Nah, Jimmy, this thing is not working. It's pissing people off. But again, these progressive policies, they sound good when you give a speech. It makes everybody feel, oh man, that's great. We're going to be looking out for one another. Mm-hmm. But when the reality hits, man, people are going to get pissed off, because at the end, as much as the left likes to talk about fairness and equity, the stuff that they want to do is not fair, and it is not equitable. It takes advantage of people, and that's why so many Americans are pissed off with Joe Biden.
Yep, spot on, man. I think it's going to be a rough fall. I do. No matter who they throw on the ticket, because you can't stand behind this stuff. That's what it is. I mean, when you talk about student loan forgiveness, it's like you're basically, you're getting charged for a loan you didn't take out. Imagine getting a bill in the mail from Chili's for a meal you didn't eat. You know what I'm saying? No one is sending back a check unless somebody throws in like a Southwestern egg roll or something. But we're not even getting the Southwestern egg roll.
Oh, 100%, man. I mean, this student loan thing, you know what it's like, Jimmy? Yeah. It's like when you wanted to go date a girl and she goes, hey, can my friends come? What? I'm not dating them. Where's their boyfriend? I ain't dating them. I'm not paying for your friends, sis. Oh, then you don't love me. Are you crazy? This is how dumb this stuff is. You cannot rob Peter to pay Paul. You cannot have people pay somebody else's check. Mm-hmm. What you end up breeding is resentment.
No.
And I'm concerned for the country when this kind of stuff continues.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, do you know Joe Biden basically violated Supreme Court order and he's doing it anyway?
Give me that.
I don't know. He's just, violating the Constitution. I don't know, Jimmy. That sounds like a high crime and misdemeanor to me.
Get him out.
But what do I know?
Oh, get him out. Get him out. Listen, man, you brought the fire. Talk to Hunt, though, or as we now call him on the show, Wes Arachi. He is the Liberace, the Wesley Hunt Arachi. Straighten out Hunt for me when you see him, but this is great as always. You brought the A game, and we appreciate you, brother.
All right, see you, Jimmy.
My man, the great Byron Donalds. Telling it like it is. Joe Biden, just an out-and-out circus clown.